Steve and Jill here.
Hola.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show. Entertaining land investment talk. I never know what you're going to say.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about how to find a money partner fast, a wholesale money partner fast for your real estate deal.
Isn't that great? You know, I'm glad we're talking about this. A lot of times that people say, Steve and Jill, they talk about the buy side. They don't talk so much about the sell side. I know it comes easy for them, but it doesn't always come easy for me. So I'm glad that we're talking about selling and finding buyers. This is all really, really, really wanted and
This whole week,
asked for information.
This is I wrote this topic because this is what I struggle with when I started. This exact topic. I didn't really struggle with anything else with plus or minus, but finding a good money partner, which in the end, we didn't do. I didn't do it. I chose to use the equity that I created on the last deal to put it in the next deal. And that's the one way you can do it. And it worked great for us, but it took probably 4 times as long as it needed to.
Right.
Now we have a bunch of equity partners, mainly because we started Land Academy.
Yep.
And we have other members so it worked out well. We'll talk about some of the tools that we developed in a minute here. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Is this a long one?
Yes.
Okay. So I know I watched I watched this question being loaded in. So I just want to preface you right now, listener. This is a little bit long and I'll paraphrase where I can, but it's really, really, really good, valuable information.
If you're a brand new member or you're just kind of a lurker, which is great, this is really going to interest you because this person is a new member and he takes us through his journey of his first deal.
Exactly.
If you're already a member and you're listening, I hope you've had an experience like this.
I'm pretty sure you have. Based on the comments too, pretty sure you have. Okay, so it started back on January 23rd. Hi, I just want to make a record of this momentous...
This person's name is Joe Chu.
Oh yeah, Joe Chu wrote this. And it's in Land Investor, so if you want to see it, go check it out.
Yep.
So it started on January 23rd. Hi, I just want to make a record of this momentous milestone so that I can look back here a few years later from now and see where I started. How cool is that, by the way? Using our community as to document to it's going to go, I remember that day and how scared I was. And here I am, on my yacht. Anyway, okay, it says I signed up for this educational program just about a month ago. I watched through the training, rewatched many chapters, and listened to all of the 2018 member calls. Awesome. And even eavesdropped on a live call. Maybe it's a fear of success. Maybe it's a fear of failure, but I've been procrastinating on my first mailer by staying busy with unproductive activities for far too long. That happens. I understand. I've finally gotten over the first hurdle of making the first real move. I just finished ordering my first offers to owners mailer campaign. It feels like a heavy burden has just been lifted off my shoulders. Isn't that cool when you push the button? Or perhaps I've been fearing those phone calls and the fact that I will actually have to talk to other people instead of just typing on the internet. Now the fun begins, right? Okay, so fast forward to February 6th, 2019. It's been exactly 2 weeks since I sent my first mailer. So far, I've not had any response yet. Might still be too soon. The anxiety is building up. On a side note, I did send out a second mailer 1 week after the first. So if anything, the calls and returned offers will be flowing in without any pause. It's time for a third mailer. That's how you do it, by the way. Don't think about it. Just keep on going. February 27th. Continuing to log my progress through this thread. The calls began to come in a couple days after the mail went out. It went just like Jack and Jill said it would. A flood of angry landowners questioning my pricing. Most were nice about it and politely asked me to remove them from my list. Only one guy used profanity in his voicemail to me. After a handful of upset landowners, my emotions got the best of me. I stopped picking up my calls for a couple of days. Then I recalled Jill's training. Just kill them with kindness and start picking up the phone again, pick up the calls again, and apologize for my pricing mistake. Which is not a mistake, but that's how you call them now.
Yeah.
Then, to my surprise, even though I shouldn't be, because Jack and Jill has said this would happen, angry calls slowed, and the desperate sellers came out of the woods.
Works every time.
I think I'm using this phrase wrong, but anywho, long story short, I am in escrow to purchase 7 lots and waiting for one more offer to come in. Tips for the beginners. Answer your calls. I check my mailbox every day. Nothing came in via USPS. All these sales came through in the phone. I'm running short of funds now. Haven't mailed out offers in a few weeks for fear of lack of funds, even though I shouldn't use this excuse because I've got so many resources from this group. Yep. Rookie nervousness, I guess. After a few sales, I will have the full confidence to do as the coaches say. Keep mailing regardless. Yes.
That's
That's
exactly
beautiful.
how it goes.
That was
To this
so good.
day.
Yep.
To this day, when Jill and I do a 10 or 12,000 unit mailer, this is exactly
That's
how
true.
it goes.
You do it.
Exactly like this.
Steven's like, uh-oh, did I price them wrong?
And on the
Is our
first
phone
mailer,
working?
for us, it went just like this.
Uh-huh.
There's always a moment in a mailer where like, man, I obviously didn't do something right on this one. And
I thought you said it's always a moment in a marriage or a relationship. I was waiting for that one where I realized, did I do something right? Did I do this right? That would be you.
We can change the topic
No.
right now and talk about, did I do this right in my marriage?
No, we'll talk about that in a minute. All right. But I love it. That was
It's a perfect anatomy of how a mailer goes.
And thank you, Joe. It was Joe, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. And you did it right. You were scared. You hung in there.
Thank you for sharing.
And thank you for sharing that. And that's why you have us, you have our community. We're here to help you through this. And you know what? You are already, now look, Joe, you are 2 months behind somebody else. And so those of us here helping you for the next step, you can help somebody else and say, just put it in the mail. I felt the same way. Just do it.
That's I mean, when I read that, that's very motivational for me.
Yeah.
So there's so much
I love the butterflies.
So much noise out there about what is motivational and what helps. This is incredibly helpful. We didn't edit a word out of this. Not one single word did I edit. So
yes,
that's exactly what you can expect.
Exactly.
It's just, on your first mailer and your last mailer. I hope you never have a last mailer like us.
I get excited. I know I'm the odd one. Like the phone rings, I'm like, "Ooh, I wonder what this is going to be. Maybe it's going to be this. Maybe it's going to be that."
They're perfect.
I have literally no fear picking up the phone. Like, bring it. Because I do that. I use my if they're really pissed off, then I take it a challenge to calm them down. And like you did it just perfect by saying, "Oh my gosh, I must have forgot a zero. What? I forgot 2 zeros? Oh, what the heck was I thinking? I was clearly, and then you can hopefully laugh about it with them. And then after you talk to them, you realize, no, I priced that perfectly. They're nuts, which is usually how it goes.
Oh, yeah.
And then
if anybody's calling you ranting about the price that you offered, they're nuts because
they just want to vent.
We all know how to price mailers.
Exactly.
If we've gone through the education and all this, we're not far off in our mailer price.
Exactly.
Is it retail? No.
Well, it's obviously
retail offer to anything.
Joe already knows that, by the way, because he wouldn't have 8 deals right now. He knows that. He's got a handful of poopy ones to get the 8 good ones. And by the way, I don't know if I don't think he listed the numbers in there, but you obviously did fantastic. If your first mailer out of the gate, you bought 8. Well, think about those percentages.
Oh, by the way, Jill and I own offers to owners. Full disclosure. I checked with the O2O people before we ran this show today, and he only did a 585 unit mailer.
Oh, that's awesome.
He generated 8 properties from it.
That's awesome.
Which is amazing.
That's crazy strike percentage.
We don't recommend that. I recommend sending out a 1,500 unit mailer just to make sure you buy a couple pieces of property. So.
Well, I think he's got that figured out.
Yeah, he's got something figured out. And you know what? Just for fun, here's what's going to happen. This happens all the time. He's jittery, lurking, figuring it out, spends a year on it. I don't know if it's going to happen. Posts some stuff on Land Investors, buys 8 properties, resells them, and we never hear from him again.
Yeah. So you're about to go dark. Congratulations.
Yep. He's going to go off into like a massive success. And he'll just listen to the Thursday calls we do. Maybe he'll pipe in a little bit. But with the vast majority. How do I know this? Well, how did Steve, if you never hear from him again, how do you know they're successful? Because we just sent out an hour. It takes an hour survey to see how Land Academy, to all of our members, to see where they are. It's just a lot of.
We did a fantastic in-depth survey with all of our members,
and we had like 60 or 70% of the people, active members, respond to it.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
And they told us, "Oh yeah, we're killing it."
And a third of those have already left their jobs. They left their day jobs, and they shared it with us. I'm like,
staggering numbers. So.
It's crazy.
It's not that
so how many more don't talk to us? That was your point, I think, too. Is like I'm too busy to do a survey. Sometimes I rarely do surveys. I do once in a while, but something important to me, I will.
The other thing that I know is that I watch the numbers on who listens to and watches our Thursday call, and then, hundreds of people in our group. The vast majority of the people in our group log on to that call.
I know.
they don't say much or ask questions, which is fine.
But
But they're there
they're
to
just
hear the
listening.
experiences that are of the people who are talking and
Take,
talk. So
learn.
yeah,
Exactly.
it tells me it's working.
Totally.
When you run a lifestyle thing like this, that's I
Mhm.
just learned recently that's what we have. We have a lifestyle subscription company. I
We
never
do?
thought of it like, yeah, that's what it's called. I have no idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Based
And
on what?
I don't know. That's what people call it.
Huh. Huh.
When you run a company like this correctly, which is what we try to do, you need to get feedback from everybody who's involved in it, whether it's working or not.
Right.
And so that's what we try to do. We're constantly trying to get feedback to see if people are happy, if it's working, and the stuff we can add. So I ask myself, is it harder to run a lifestyle company like this? Or is it harder to buy and sell real
Sounds
estate?
like a magazine. I'm gonna start using that at a dinner party. Just to, that's good. I'm gonna confuse even more people. Next time someone, this is great information. I'm always struggling with telling people what I do because 99% of the time they want to talk to me. I'm like, darn it, shoot. Like the other day I called a woman about a studio space, and she's like asking me about our business. I said, well, just go to this website and you can see us. And then all right away she said, if this doesn't work out, I want to talk to you. I'm like,
Oh, really?
Hey, here we go again. She's telling me all about her being up at night and looking at property. And I'm like, oh no, but anyway, I'm going to start doing that. So what do? I run a lifestyle company, lifestyle subscription company.
Lifestyle company.
What's that?
Subscription-based lifestyle company.
Oh, well, I could go into it now, but just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, depending on their age, they're not going to know what this is. No. I didn't even know we had one of those things. We're just setting up tools for people to do deals.
Thank you. By the way, should we get to the meat of the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Today's topic, how to find a wholesale money partner fast. This is the meat of the show. This is way easier than everybody thinks. And it centers around one simple concept. And if you're a note taker, this is what you want to write down, or this is the takeaway from the show.
Ready. I'm taking notes.
You have the power to purchase undervalued real estate. If that's the case, and you feel that you've gone through the education and you've done a few deals, you understand that kind of euphoria, like, you know what, I can control my life now. Everything else is going to fall into place. I'm not saying kick your heels up and watch football. I'm saying that's the nucleus for everything. So if you have a good deal, honest, good, well-priced, undervalued deal, money's going to find you, especially in this group.
That's true.
Jill and I have set up all kinds of tools to make sure that's the case. The most recent of which is Land Tank, Tank. It's like Shark Tank for land. You post a great deal on there. Other people in the group who have hordes of money that are just watching want to partner with you. And so they click on it. It's as simple as that. And you two get together and purchase the property. You, as the locator of the property, the manager, have to put not $1 in. The partner, the investor and manager are the two roles. That's what they're called. Funds the whole thing.
That's what we do with our deal funding. Some of the members, I think, do a little bit different thing, and it's totally up to you, by the way. When you post and you find something in Land Tank, do whatever you want.
If it doesn't work for us, it'll work for somebody else. There's like 50 ways, not 50. There's probably 5 or 6 ways you can get funded. But here's the whole thing. It can't be a bad deal. It's got to be a good deal.
I think you got to have, so to get a good money partner, you need a reliable buyer pool. That's really what it is, and I was thinking about that. A lot of people post things on social media, like, I have this deal, does anybody work with me? I'm not so sure about that way. I've never actually acted on one, so I really don't know, and I don't really know anybody. I've never really talked to one that they've done it at all successfully or unsuccessfully, so I can't weigh in. I'd love to know if anybody's done that. So, but no matter what, to have a wholesale money partner, you need a reliable group of people. And so that's where we come in. And I always look at either a well-established company, or a community like ours, like you just said. And that's on Land Tank, or you can even go to our land investors and we'll do the deals too. On our Land Academy deal funding. And we literally, I'm literally wiring money for deals for our people.
I just saw 2 properties go through Land Tank that are, one's $75,000 and one's $50,000 for great pieces of developable real estate, and the manager on there who's a very outspoken, loud in a good way, person who's involved in our group. they'll triple their money.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
that's how you use that. So, and those are the kinds of deals that we like to do. Does that mean that there aren't other money people in our group that love to do $5,000 deals, turn them into 10,000? No, they are also there too. So
exactly.
Here's my point, and then we can move on. As long as the deal's good, there's going to be somebody in our group that wants to fund it for you.
Exactly.
You just have to approach it the same way you approach finding sellers. You just can't give up.
My other things too, it's got to be a good enough deal to find a good partner who really wants to do it with you. It's got to be a good enough deal that you'd be doing it by yourself. You just literally don't have the money.
Yeah,
or you're allocating, you're doing something a different way. And I think that's what leads into tomorrow's show is why you started this, why you have this topic, because tomorrow's show is a velocity of money.
Yeah.
So you might be allocating your money in certain areas to increase the velocity of money, which we're going to go into tomorrow. So you could afford it, but you're choosing not to for a reason, and you're going to outsource it and split the profit because there's a reason for it. And I get that.
If you're kind of new at
It's got
this
to be that good.
or thinking about it, there's two inevitable things that are going to happen. And you need to prepare yourself. This is actually a chapter in Land Academy 2.0. And the sooner you prepare yourself for it, the better, because a lot of people get hung up on it. And I don't want to see that. I don't want that to happen to you. Number one, you're going to run out of money. It happens to Jill and I even.
Exactly.
Do we spend all of our money on it? No, we allocate. Jill and I allocate. Here's what we really do. Years ago, we put a certain amount of money into a bank account and created a company. And then we just never take any money out. The bank balance goes up and down and up. And so it keeps accumulating money. You pay some taxes on it. It keeps going up and down and up and down and up and down. And so we have lots of different revenue sources. So that's kind of a luxury for us. But we allocate only X amount of dollars out, invested out there at a certain amount of time. So almost every month, we run out of money no matter.
But then it gets built, then it goes up again. I got to go buy some stuff.
And you know what we do? We don't let the deals go to waste. No. We bring in our money guys.
Yeah, if I can't do it, that's a good point. I'm not going to go and sell something to make ends meet. Then I will bring in somebody else with me.
Right.
Because we're not going to let no good deal should go to waste. That's what you should always be thinking and always saying. And that's your line.
And the second thing is you will experience slow sales. It's a version of what I just described. If you're doing everything right, there's this constant push to, well, if I could just sell this property and get the revenue out of it or the money out of it, equity out of it, I could buy this next one. It's in the queue.
Right.
And so you have to very early on address slow sales. And the best way you can address slow sales is by making sure you have an internet presence. What Jill said earlier, make sure you have a good, solid buyers group that are professional people in the business in the place where you're buying and selling houses or land or whatever. And make sure it's expanding.
Yep.
So address those things early on and they won't be a huge problem, but they still will exist. A lot of people think they just fail. Like, oh my God, I ran out of money. Oh man, I've owned this property for a month and a half. Steve and Jill says it's only supposed to take 3 weeks. It just happens.
It happens.
Well, you've done it again. You spent another 15 minutes or so listening to the Land Academy show. Join us next time where Jill and I talk about the velocity of money.
And we answer your questions posted on our online community at landinvestors.com. It's free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. You're cutting me off there.
You have a lot to say these couple days. It's good.
I do. I don't know why.
I know.
I wonder.
I don't know. I'm excited. Wherever you are watching, wherever you are listening, please rate us there. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.